I couldn't enjoy myself anymore. So medyo naiinis ako. Yung inis na yon slowly turned into hate. Hatred for honestly, I didn't even know what I hated or who I hated. I just know I hated what was happening, period.
We believe that every person should have a shot at being an entrepreneur.
So in this podcast, we will be sharing tips and strategies that we give to our own clients, as well as discuss real-life topics that pertain to certain industries and businesses.
This is Mentorship Monday.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Mentorship Mondays. Today's episode is titled Our Loser Moments. Medyo malalim to. So guys, if you... yeah, it's going to be very personal. Yeah. So guys, if you have been to any of my talks or attended any of my mentorship programs, then you would know that I am a big fan of self-awareness. I'm extremely big on self-awareness. And the reason for that is because I strongly believe that one of the biggest keys to success in life, or in business or in life, in general basically, is or lies in understanding one's self. Okay? And in that process, one of the things that I think is often overlooked is your loser moment. Your I can't believe I was like that moment. Okay, that's important kasi in my opinion, no? To see for yourself how far you have come from who you were and to understand the process that it took on how you were able to rise from that situation or from whatever that situation is that resulted into you being that way is extremely key in understanding what made you better and how you could use that to further, improve yourself. Because like we always say, never stop on improving.
Yes.
Okay, so for this episode, guys, what we're going to do is we're going to be talking about one of our loser moments, and then we're going to share on how, on what we did and how we were able to recover from that time, from that version of ourselves, and how you will be able to, and give you an idea on how you will be able to use some of those things that we did for yourselves.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think it just shows that, no matter, not everyone is like successful all the time, right?
Yeah.
Everyone will have a loser moment.
Yeah.
It matters though what you do afterwards.
Correct. And to me, key is recognizing if you are in one. Okay, kasi like the old adage says, the first step to understanding or to solving a problem is first understanding that there is a problem.
Yeah. I agree.
Okay, so in this podcast you have RP,
Chris,
and Ryan. So let's get it.
Yeah. So I'll share my loser moment. Honestly, when we thought about this topic,
Okay.
medyo nahihirapan ako dito. Kasi sobrang dami kong loser moment eh. So, I'm trying to think, ano pa yung ikakwento ko dito? Kasi sobrang dami eh. But, I think for now, I will start with one loser moment. Okay? So for this one, it's, the setting is Suntime College. So I would say around almost 10 years ago, maybe. Maybe more than 10 years ago. 15 years ago. Okay? I guess it shows how old I am. But anyway, so 15 years ago, and basically, in college, especially the first time around, I took up export management. Mainly because I thought, I wanted to somewhat go into business, so this course had management in it, so might as well take that course. Essentially, I didn't really like the course too much. I wasn't too into it. So what happened was that I really wasn't doing good, right?
Okay.
I wasn't going to school that much. I didn't do good in college. And then I ended up...
And I'm sure it's because you weren't into it.
Yeah.
It's not because of Dota or... Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So, so basically, of course, this was hard for me, especially because in high school, I wasn't really known as a troublemaker. I wasn't known as someone who does not do good.
No way.
Yeah. So, but now, I'm in college and I'm not doing well. Of course, if you go home with failing marks, you can imagine. I mean, your parents will not be too happy about that, right?
Yeah.
That's right.
So this happened for a few terms. And then on the somewhat third term, or I forgot what term it is, I'm feeling down. I feel that, I'm not accomplishing anything. And then my parents are getting mad at me. And I'm like, you know what? I need to prove them wrong. Now, instead of proving them wrong by going to school, I proved them wrong by saying, I'm going to quit school. I'm going to quit school, and then I'm going to work and make it on myself. Okay? So this is going to be a long story. So I'm only a little halfway there. So anyway, I think, okay, I'm going to make it on myself. I'm going to work. I'm going to go up the ladder, and I'm going to see. I'm going to come back and go, so, see, I did it.
Teka, Chris. Just to clarify, when you said I'm gonna prove them wrong, were you already set on dropping out from school, or was it in the process you just kind of dropped out?
So I nag-ulo ko eventually.
Okay.
And when I say I
Kids, do not follow Chris's footsteps.
And yeah, and when I say I want to prove to them, I did not ask for their permission. So what happened was, literally in the middle of the night, I left.
Bigla na.
Yes, I left.
Layas, ganon?
Layas ako, yes.
Wow,
Yeah,
okay.
Malakas sa loob
May
ka.
maglayas.
Yeah, so I didn't tell them middle of the night. And what was bad about it is because I wanted to prove myself. And the way to prove it was first to stop school. And then next, of course, if I'm going to stop school, I need money. So what I do is I steal money from them.
Seriously?
Yes.
You stole money
I stole
from
money
your
from them.
parents?
So
How can you do that? You were not there na.
No, I was in at home at that time. So I didn't have a lot of savings. So whatever money was lying around, even my brother's money,
Hi, Matthew.
Wait, may mga listener tayo gagawin.
No, it's true. That's the purpose of the loser moment. So it's accumulative. And if you can imagine this, that's not even my loser moment. This is leading up to my loser moment.
It's part of it.
Yes, okay. So anyway, where was I? Okay, I get money from them, right? I get money from them, and then I go out and I live with
Me.
RP.
Yeah. Nadamay pa ako.
Okay, so I stay with him, and then I tell myself, okay, so in order to make myself big, I'm going to find a job. Okay.
Okay.
So what I do is I apply one time, and then I fail. It's like they don't get me. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is terrible. So what I do is I retreat to my comfort zone. I retreat in sa tambayan namin dati, and I play computer games. One day becomes 2 days, becomes 1 week, becomes how a longer time. And then within that time frame, I don't take care of myself, right? I end up not applying for jobs anymore. I end up staying basically playing computer games, doing nothing. And essentially, you can imagine, I only have so much money, right? So my money is only on either it's food and or computer games. That's it.
Yeah,
That's
betting
all I
money.
do. Yeah, basically. And it came to a point that I ran out of money, and it came to a point where I didn't have any money to eat. So there were times when, like, 2 days I did not eat. 2 days I didn't eat. The only reason why I did eat was, well, pinilit ko yung sarili ko pumunta sa bahay ng kaibigan ko. Is kumain ako doon. And then, so I had no money, and I had so much pride that I didn't want to go home. Now, after 6 months, it lasted 6 months. After 6 months, I went home, basically because my grandmother was in the hospital. So I had to go home, and then as soon as my parents saw me, you can imagine, well, I think my mother was in tears, not only because they haven't seen me in a while.
Whoa. You mean for the 6 months that you weren't there, you were not seeing your parents?
No.
So 6 months you didn't see them?
Yes.
Grabe.
Dude.
Yes.
That's some... Okay. Continue.
Okay. So 6 months, I did not see them. I didn't want to talk to them. Again, in my mind, because I needed to prove something, but I really wasn't doing anything. So, but eventually I came home, and then my mother saw me, and I think she cried. not only because she saw me for it's been a few months, but also because she saw me and I looked terrible.
Yeah.
Okay. So I did not. I had no money to.
Dude,
cut
we
my
did
hair.
not sleep. We were like up 24/7.
So I did not have money to get a haircut. I did not bathe a lot. So because I was always computer games. So I did not take care of myself. And my mother seeing me, she knew this, right? So we were talking, and then I didn't have more money, so I decided to go back home. So basically, I failed. This whole time, 6 months, it was a failure. And then when I come home, of course, you can imagine I was gone for a long time. I'm the prodigal son. I come back, and they're nice to me. And there's a time when it's been I think a week or two. And I want to leave because I'm stuck at home. I'm doing nothing. I want to play games again. Whatever my routine was in the beginning, I want to still try to get that back. And then they don't want me to. Well, I guess they're saying that I should kind of make up for lost time. So we got in a fight. I went outside. My mother talked to me. When my mother talked to me, she told me that I should try to buckle down, something like that. And the argument kind of got heated. And then I told her basically something that I regret until this day. So
are you going to share what it is?
Yes, it is. So basically I told her that, you know what, I'm so unhappy here with you.
Really?
I am so unhappy, and the best moments of my life are actually not with you. The best moments of my life was that when I wasn't here, and I was just enjoying myself. So as you can imagine, my mom hearing that, she basically cried. She cried and then she left. And that was the moment. That was the moment where the accumulation of all that, of thinking, of failing in my courses, of thinking I want to make something of myself and not doing anything, and then in the end, still not owning up to my mistake that I went through all that. And then on top of it, cherry on top, telling my mother that.
That's the worst thing you can possibly do.
Yeah. So that was...
your loser moment.
That actually was just one of my loser moments. So
okay.
That is it. Yeah.
So, in summary, that particular loser moment was you failing in school, college, you failing in trying to make it on your own, and you failing even in trying to say you're sorry to your parents.
Yeah, or even acknowledging anything.
Yeah.
Basically,
you got no argument here that it was a loser time. Yeah, okay.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, because in my opinion, I don't mean to get too personal, no? Siyempre, yung mga values natin, kanya-kanya na yan, walang kinalaman sa business. But in my opinion, no, the worst thing you can do is talk back ng ganun ka. I don't mean yung bata ka talk back. That's normal eh. When you're kids and, you and your mom, normal naman mag-aaway ka. Pero when you say something that personal to your parents, especially to the mother, no? To me, that's one of the worst things you can do. It's right up there in my book. No? It's right up there next to probably stealing and killing kasi medyo malalim yan. Like my dad always says, my dad has this one thing na I truly respect him for. As you guys know, hiwalay yung mom and dad ko. And he always says na magalit na kayo sa akin, bastusin nyo na ako, pero wag kong malalamang binastos nyo ang nanay nyo. Kasi kahit magkahiwalay kami, that is something na hindi ko mapapayagan na nagpalaki ko ng tao na kayang gumawa niyan sa nanay niya. So yeah, well, to be fair to you, I agree. That was a loser moment. So what did you do, Chris? What happened next?
Well, just to add though, I believe in sort of a do not regret anything kind of thing, right? But I have to say that is something I truly regret. That was
yeah,
terrible.
I bet.
So if you're listening,
I understand, Chris.
mommy, I'm sorry.
Mommy. Tita, wala po akong kinalaman doon, ha? Pumunta po sa amin yan para makitulog. Inabot ng 6 months, hindi ko alam kung bakit ganun. Pero wala akong kinalaman doon. Siya lang po gumawa nun.
So actually, we have similarities with Chris naman. So I think
never. I mean, I probably broke my mother's heart when I got kicked out of school numerous times. Pero other than, I don't think I ever talked that way to my, kasi it's gonna be a big no-no. I'm gonna get a very big ass whooping from my dad and my kuya. So yeah,
it is a big no-no. So I just naalala ko lang yung sinabi ni Chris. So I just remember some things na nangyari din sa akin. Similar to Chris, I made my mother cry 3 times in my life. So first nga, yung high school, ganun din. Ilang beses pinatawag dahil nga sa mga kagaguhan. Kumbaga. Sa principal's office, ilang beses na siya pinatawag doon.
Kailangan ko ba i-censor yung sinabi niya? Kajijihan. Oh, sorry. Go.
So, umiyak na siya that time. Kailan ka ba magbabago? Second that, bago mag-graduate. Buti na lang pumasa ako. Bagsak hanggang second quarter.
High school?
Yung mga ganun, high school. So, yung mga away, napatawag na. May police report pa. Kasi nga, may binugbog kami. Mga ganun. So, napaya ko din, siguro last time was college na din. Naalala ko. Ano ba sinabi ko nun? About favoritism sa brother ko.
Okay.
Parang sinabi niya ang sinabi kasi, bagsak-bagsak ako. Sabi niya, stop ka muna. Kasi parang wala ka sa focus. Gusto ko mag-aaral. Kasi mga friends mo,
gusto mo ba talaga mag-aaral?
Hindi. So, yun. Sabi ko, favorite mo siya gano'n. Parang gano'n, similar. Pero, yun. Sa akin naman, in my experience, na loser moment ko, siguro nung nag-start na ako ng business, the food business, parang resto. Okay. Kasi, so, nag-BPO, nag-call center. Okay. So, may kinakain kaming pares, like dito sa may QC.
Retiro.
Mga ganun.
Pares Retiro.
So,
nag-pattern ka doon.
Sabi ko, kayang-kaya to. Dali lang magluto. Yun, ganun. So, basically, kumbaga, yung sarili ko nun, yung parang feeling ko, alam ko na lahat. Yun. Na, dali lang na mag-business eh. May pera ka lang, ito gawin mo, ganito, hire ka ng tao, magluto ka ng ganito, pabili ka ng ganon. So, nung actual na nandun na, kumbaga ako. So, I have a business partner, no? So, nung actual na ma-realize mo yung hirap, tapos yung pagiging parang, alam ko to paano gawin to, yung mga ganon. Na ikaw mamamalengke ng 12 midnight, lulutuin mo,
vision from execution.
Oo. So, yung mga ganon. After a month na ginagawa ko yun, okay, yung process na yun, parang sabi ko sa sarili ko, ang hirap. Hindi worth it. Tapos nawala na ako ng gana.
Kasi so, gising ka sa umaga, prepare ka.
Ikaw lahat. Dalawa pa lang kami nun. Parang sa'yo lahat, mag-drive ka pa ng Grab. Tapos pag uwi mo, wala ka ng pahinga. So parang nag-give up ako sa dream ko na ituloy na. Dream ko pa naman dahil
maging chef.
May restaurant sarili, lalaki, multiple branches.
Na meron ka na ngayon? Yes. Sorry.
So, yung self mo na, yung iniisip mo na alam mo paano patakbuhin yung negosyo, paano lutuin to, nung nandun na, hindi na nagkalasa-lasa yung mga pagkain. Diba?
Okay. So you were having a problem via products pa rin?
Products and then yung
execution
na.
Okay.
Okay, tapos nung yung partner ko, chef siya. So medyo hindi naman kami nagka-clash. So medyo ako bagito na businessman, 'di ba? Pag pamasa ka ng bagong business, parang madali lang to.
Masaya lahat.
Masaya lahat. okay, kaya to. May pera ka, pero nauubos yung pera mo. Doon na yung pumapasok yung nawalan ka ng gana, tapos yung mag-give up ka, yung parang ganon, na di naman sa hini-hate mo yung mundo, pero parang, bakit ganito? Tapos sila, maganda yung takbo.
At sa'yo, hindi nagsasucceed.
Bakit sa akin? So, doon nag-start yung mga compare sa business. Ano bang ginagawa kong mali? Ano ba ako? Wala ba talaga?
Kulang ka ba?
Ano ba talaga ako? Ano ba yung... kumbaga, ang ini-imagine ko kung ano yung nagawa kong mali. Yun.
Kung ano yung pagkukulang mo.
So, hindi lang naman dun sa ano yun sa resto, yung sa Grab din, nangyari din yun. Sobrang believe ko sa kita ng Grab. Kumbaga, nagyabang ako sa mga kaibigan ko. Napasalihin sila. Tapos nung nasali sila, medyo nahirapan din sila. So, naapektuhan din ako. Yung parang, like for example, yung isang barkada ko nung college. Sabi ko, huwag ka na magbarko. Dito ka na lang. Maganda dito. So, hindi nga siya nagpatuloy ng barko. So, last time na nalaman ko was Nueva Ecija siya. So, binenta niya yung kotse niya. Kasi, palugi. So, ano siya ng ibang negosyo nag-try, which is, hindi rin nasa probinsya na siya ngayon. So, parang, nung time na yun, parang, nagsisi ako sa rin, ba't ang yabang ko?
Nag-guilty ka?
Oo, nag-guilty ako.
Yung tipong feeling mo, hindi ka para sa negosyo.
Oo. So, yung mga panahon na yun, ayaw kong gumising. Gusto ko lang nakahiga. Walang gagawin. Buti na lang, supportive yung partner ko. So, siya yung sabi na, hindi, okay lang yan. It's part of the process. Ganito. So, unti-unti, yung comeback ko naman doon, na parang, lahat naman may plano sa mundo kumbaga, baka hindi to para sa'yo ngayon. Nag-over ka lang or mali lang talaga yung process mo. Okay? So, yung partner ko naman, sabi niya, yung wife ko, na okay lang yan. Huwag ka mawalan ng pag-asa. Kasi, kumbaga, yun yung problema ko dati. Pag nawalan ng pag-asa,
paano ganun? Bumukbo ka na lang, ganun?
Parang ganun na.
Self-pity.
Oo. So, supportive naman siya, na-train niya yung mindset ko doon. So, kaya, yun, naka-bounce back. So, kumbaga, nangyayari, hindi naman laging successful. May mangyayari naman talagang along the way.
Correct.
Oo.
Yan, that's extremely important. Sorry to cut you, bro. Pero yung you understanding na, kasi in most cases, it's not necessarily just ikaw na will get yourself out of your funk or your, your pattern, your destructive pattern. More often than not, hindi lang natin nare-recognize. A lot of times we don't recognize. Pero it is the people around us who actually help us get out of those of those situations. So in this case, that's very apparent with you. And for you to recognize that, that's actually that's a very good thing on your part.
Doon mo makita yung importance talaga na iba yung supportive talaga yung partner.
So there's this in Hapchan Makati yata to, if I'm not mistaken. There's Hapchan ba? Basta it's Tongyang Makati. They have a poster inside na nakalagay doon, rules to a happy life. Rule number 1, find the right partner. 90% of your happiness is based on you finding the right partner. Tapos merong rule number 2, number 3, 4, 5, 6, ang haba ng rules. Pagdating sa rule number 10, forget rule 2 to 10, just focus on rule number 1.
Tama yan.
So yeah, that's a very funny joke, but that is true. Finding the right person for you will do wonders talaga. As in talaga, it will help you with a lot of things.
Yes, it will help you remove the negative things in you and help you get those positive vibes.
Yeah, hindi lang yan, not necessarily just that, just basta in the whole sense of, just keeping your life in order, everything
balance,
staying the way it should, or falling into place, stuff like that. 90% of the time, that hinges on how well you choose a life partner.
Yeah.
Kasi ngayon, sobrang chill ko na lang Kumbaga, hindi na ako nababala ka, mawalan ka ng pera.
Yun.
Okay lang.
Ito pala yung masarap utangan
mawalan ka ng pera, hindi ka magpapanik. Kasi alam mo, may alam ka na pwedeng kung paano kang kumita. Yung parang ganun.
Yeah.
So,
kasi now you are not starting from zero. You are starting from experience.
Yes.
Nice. Okay.
So, ganun din. Vice versa din sa wife ko. Ganun din. Pag minsan, this is medicine siya. Minsan mahirap talaga mag-medicine. So, pag nawalan siya ng gana, like mag-study kasi may boards, yung mga ganun. Lalo ng boards niya dati. So, hindi siya nakapag-study. Sabi ko, hindi, kaya mo yan. Nandito ka na eh. Hindi ka naman na first year. Magbo-boards ka na. Ibig sabihin, tapos ka na dun sa medicine na time. Boards ka na para may, ano ka na, registered doctor ka na. So, yung mga ganun, palitan, kaya maganda din yung partner na. So, yun, thankful din ako dahil doon kasi nga ngayon, ano na sa akin eh, para kumbaga, may mangyari sa'yo masama or kung ano man yun, malulugmo ka or something, my purpose is just need time, bounce back. Don't look at it as a negative thing. Look at it as a positive thing. Na may mapupuntahan ka naman.
Thank you, Ryan. That was very inspiring.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was.
Pero Chris, mabalikan kita. So with the thing that happened to you earlier, the story that you said, no. So si Ryan, he said na the thing that helped him was finding the right person to end up with. Ikaw, what helped you, or how did you do it? How did you get from there to the entrepreneur or to the person that you are today?
So I do want to say it was easy. It was a instantaneous change, but it was not. I actually had kind of a similar mindset for a few years after. I still had this thing where I can do better if I really wanted to, but I don't really want to. So it was pretty bad.
The magaling mindset.
Yeah, kala ko sobrang galing.
Magaling ako. Period. Yeah. Okay, sige, go.
Yeah, it took a while. I have to say it did take a while. It changed when I had honestly, it changed. If I were to say, when I had a business idea.
That's very recent.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah.
That's like what, 5 years?
Yeah. Of course, I wasn't as bad anymore, right? I kind of tamed down. I tamed down. I didn't really blame my parents anymore. But basically, from my business idea, I kind of self-reflected and. I think one of the quotes that I remember really that made me change was a quote from Bruce Lee.
Be like water. Be like water. Yun ba yun?
The quote was basically, do not pray for an easy life. Pray for a hard life, but with the strength to pray for the strength to endure a hard life.
Yeah.
So I remember in my quest to be more mindful of myself, I heard that quote and it spoke to me. Basically, I saw it and I said, that is true. I keep on asking that I win the lotto, that someone give me money so I can make a business. I keep praying that something just magically happen, and then I realized basically in that quote that I should not be waiting for that. I should basically be strengthening myself in preparation and get it myself.
Yeah.
So that's what changed.
Okay.
Nice.
All right. Follow-up question.
Mm-hmm.
Have you or did you ever say sorry for that particular incident?
I believe so. Because that happened about maybe 15, close to 15 years ago. But I remember as soon as I said it, I felt sorry afterwards. I felt that was just the wrong thing to say. And I actually chased after my mother and I told her I'm sorry. So in that very moment, I did realize it. It wasn't sort of like, hindi, mali talaga siya. Whatever, I was happy then. No,
if
was not
if I was in that position, you know what I'd do?
Slap me?
I'd go to my mom and probably ask her, Mom, you remember the time that I disrespected you so bad you cried? Just in case it wasn't clear, I am very sorry.
Well, I would do that, but she would say, which time?
All right.
Oh, yeah.
Cool loser moments.
Yeah.
So I guess most of the time our loser moments would be personal stuff, no?
Yeah.
Kasi I believe naman we tried real hard to try and link it to a business scenario. But I don't know. For most of the people here, yours is semi-connected to a business scenario naman. You went into business, you keep failing, and dumating ka sa point na panay ang awa sa sarili mo. Okay, ako kasi it's similar to Chris. It happened actually somewhere around the same time na I got to know you. Okay, kasi...
we meet each other like that? Ganun ba yan? We meet each other like that?
Broken pieces coming together.
Choosing the right partner.
So, in case you don't know, though I have been saying this a lot, so if you do follow me, then you probably know this. I became a dad very early. Found out that I was going to be a dad at the age of 18. And because of that, I had to quit school. Not that I was doing really good at school anyway. I was actually kicked out twice. Pero, so I had to quit school. But along with that, kasi I had to quit being a kid na. I had to quit at 18 years old. I had to go to work. I had to quit, gaming, playing, etc. And back in the day, I was into it. As in talagang I was in the gaming world. As in solid na. Day in, day out, you will see me there. I was doing only two things. I knew how to do only two things. Play video games and play basketball. That's it. Nothing else. My mind revolved around those two things. Then, out of nowhere, bigla na lang, boom, tatay ka na. Magiging tatay ka na. So, I had to quit. I had to go look for jobs. As a matter of fact, one of the jobs na saved me is the call center industry, as you know this. And the first one that I got into, I was actually with Chris.
Oh.
Yeah, we applied for. The story's funny, but it's a long story, so I'm not gonna go into it. I applied for a call center job in a company that's no longer here in the Philippines right now. And then I went to the Tambayan and I told you guys, uy, natanggap ako, ganyan, ganyan. And Chris at that time was also looking for a job. He was like, uy, ako din, tara, apply tayo. I don't know how we got there, pero we went to a Convergys hub and we applied. Long story short, natanggap kami parehas but different accounts.
Ayan yung
Yeah, that's the weird interview thing, yeah. Anyway, going back. So, what happened to me was, ayun nga, I was a kid. I was 18 years old, pero I had to stop playing. I had to start working na. I had to see my friends, you guys, na may laban sa ganito. RP, punta ka, bro, hindi ako pwede, may pasok ako. Bro, may gimmick sa ganito, punta ka. Bro, hindi ako pwede. I had to work. Bro, birthday ni ganito, punta tayo sa ganito. Hindi ako pwede, bro, wala akong pera. So at that time, syempre, I didn't know anything. I was a kid. I was like, I couldn't enjoy myself anymore. So medyo naiinis ako. Yung inis na yon slowly turned into hate. Hatred for... honestly, I didn't even know what I hated or who I hated. I just know I hated what was happening, period. So it kind of set me on a destructive pattern na I was feeling sorry for myself na napupunta na ako sa part na mainitin na yung ulo ko, madalas na ako mapaaway kasi the littlest thing would set me off kasi wala na nag-uumpisa na nga ako magalit sa mundo nasa ganun na akong stage I was thinking na ang dami kong pwedeng gawin, ang galing-galing ko, tas ito lang ba mangyayari sa akin? I'd be one of those guys na dahil maagang hindi man lang makakatapos ng school, kailangan ko na lang magtrabaho, provide, ito na ba talaga ako? Something to that effect. So I got to a point where I didn't really know how, pero I hated everything. And again, I don't know what exactly I hated. I just know I hate it.
So yeah, I actually do remember that. So there was this one time I saw RP, and then he's kind of messed up, right? And they go, "Oh, RP, ano nangyari?" Sabi niya, "Napaaway ako." Sabi ko, "Bakit?"
Tatandaan ko to.
Sabi niya, "Bumangga sa akin eh."
Kasi nasa time na nga ako noon na na parang hindi ko maintindihan basta I got to a stage where for whatever reason I was angry at everything. I was angry at the world to the point nga na the littlest thing would set me off. And yung sinasabi ni Chris na yun, ano lang yun naglalakad ako, may nakabangga lang sa akin ganyan, no? So alam mo yun, for me that was a definite loser moment kasi talagang I fell into a pattern. I was starting to pity myself, and as you guys know, that is the feeling that I hate the most in the world. Maramdaman mo nga na kinaaawaan ka ng ibang tao, nakakaasar eh. Eh yung ikaw pa kaya maawa sa sarili mo. So, yeah, and I was there for a very long time, no. I was there in that particular moment or that particular mindset for a very long time. I think more than a couple of years actually. I think siguro no less than 5 years ganyan ako mag-isip noon. From the time na yun nga na naging tatay ako, working, etc. etc. Kasi in my mind, in my opinion, I still had a lot of things to enjoy. Bata pa ako, I should be enjoying things. That's what's going on in my head eh. Yung makikita mo lahat, magsasabi sa'yo ng all the good things happening and you cannot be a part of that anymore. Even the simplest thing na mga birthday ng kaibigan, hindi ka makapunta because yung igagastos mo sa bar na pupuntahan nyo, kailangan mong i-save dahil meron kang kailangan may kailangan kang correct, may kailangan kang gawin and stuff eh. To go through that at the age of 18, 19 at the time, I thought was the worst thing that could have ever happened to me. Now, the one thing na siguro maipagmamalaki ko na nagawa ko nung time na yon was, even though I hated it, I resented it because I did resent it. I was resenting the fact na yes, I had to do this, but I could be doing something else. I could be enjoying yung pagkabata ko, but no, this is what I need to do. So while I was doing it, I was resenting it, yes. But the one thing na may pagmamalaki ko, while I resented it, I did do it. I still did it. I hated it. I hated every moment of working when I could have been in school, when I could have been at Warzone, when I could have been at basketball games, when I could have been playing with my friends. Yes, I hated all of it, but I still did it. Kasi I know na unfortunately, this is the life that I've been dealt. So I focused na lang, ginawa ko, I focused myself na lang sa pagtatrabaho. I focused myself on what I had to do in front of me, which was work. And I tried kasi that's my mindset always eh. If I will be doing something, then I will be doing it as the best as I can. And if I see I have the potential to be the best at it, then I'm gonna try and be the best at it. The call center industry, at that time, in my opinion, it was one of the easiest and most fulfilling jobs I could have ever crossed upon. Kasi, dude, speaking in front of a freaking monitor, naka-aircon ka, 8 hours, and then you get paid 13K, 14K. And at that time, laki-laki na ako. I was like, oh, this is like a dream come true. Eh, ang daldal ko, hili ko magsalita. Oh, di ba? Babayaran pa ako. So, stuff like that. So, part one of my recovery was just throwing myself to my craft, to my work. Kasi I had immense, pride in what I do. Whatever it is, I have pride in what I do. So, the part one of my recovery was, I just accepted that this is what I've been dealt with. And since this is it, might as well be the best at it. And, lucky for me, I got promoted a bunch of times. As a matter of fact, when I got to know you, I was a manager at the call center. And that was it. That was one of the most important things that I could do. Now, part two of what helped me become who I am today, how I was able to talagang tell myself na pag naalala ko yon, to the point na I tell you all the time, nahihiya ako, na I can't believe na at one point in my life, ganun ako mag-isip. Na I was so angry at the world. Na I didn't even know what I should be angry at. Okay, kasi right now, yeah, fine, dati kinaiinis ko na may anak ako very early, pero right now, dude, that's one of the best things that could have ever happened to me. Kasi hindi ako nagkaanak, hindi ako magtatrabaho, hindi ako mapupunta rito. Si Carlo, you guys see him, he's gonna be turning 17 next week. Dude, that boy is like my best friend, one of my best friends. Gumigimik kami together. I have fun with him. So I can't imagine going through my life right now without him. Okay, so the second thing that happened to me, that talagang mag-get over ko yun fully, to look back at it right now and tell myself na I don't even know who that person is, happened when I met Weni, my wife. Kasi si Weni, like you, she is immensely supportive. Talagang, as you guys know, I am very hard to live with, especially during that time. I have certain quirks, I have certain ugali na you have to love me big time to be able to tipong para matanggap sila. Okay?
Easy to work with.
I will admit, especially that time, I was not easy to work with. I was very difficult to work with. So to have Wendy by my side and one of the so she did a lot for me. But one of the biggest thing, I don't want to make this into a religious thing, but one of the biggest things that my wife has ever done for me was to turn me back kasi to my faith to the Catholic Church That's one of the biggest things talaga. Kasi it's again, this is the last thing that I will say about this. I don't want to make this a religious thing, pero the moment kasi I did that, talagang instant yung change. Okay, so I'll leave it at that. Kasi Chris doesn't like religious engagements. Anyway, so
I really don't like. It's
religious debates rather.
It's a long conversation.
Okay, so ayun. So yeah, in my opinion, it was a combination of two things. It was a personal stuff that eventually led into a career type of situation, and the first step that I did was understanding that this is it. Wala, ito na yun. It's not like I had a choice. This is what's in front of me, and I have to get into terms, or I have to accept na this is what's going to happen. Might as well be really good at it. I accepted it, that dealt with it, and then excelled at it. Second thing is understanding I can do this on my own. Okay? And once I met the right person, like similar to what happened to you, medyo, I'm happy to say I skyrocketed talaga. I reached my potential. I wouldn't say full potential because I think I have a lot more to go. Pero I reached a new height for me, which ultimately ended to where I am right now. So there, that is my loser moment and how I was able to surpass.
Yeah. Do you think though that because so you said that RP said that during that time where you had Koji, right?
Koji is my eldest, guys.
Yeah. So you didn't want to you hated the world, but you still pushed through with it, right?
Yeah.
I think that's somewhat uncommon. Right? Usually when you when you do hate the world, you basically retreat, right? Kind of.
I couldn't If I retreat, puti sana kung ako lang yung magugutom But apparently, that's not an option for me. Because if I did that, not only will I be the one na magsasuffer, somebody else will too which is my son.
So you owned up to the responsibility, basically, of more of everything for your son.
Yeah, exactly. Yun. Yeah, that's it. So basically what I did was, I kind of looked at it na lang na wala, ito na yung ginawa ko to It's not like this happened without my consent, no? So, wala. When this happened, I just owned up to it, na ito na yun. Might as well be, might as well head on ako dito and I will be just really good at whatever it is that I fall into. Plus kasi I think a little part of me got glad kasi na natanggap ako sa call center. I thought kasi at that time, syempre, no? Side note, I thought at the time the call center industry was extremely hard Yung tipong, mga tao nag-i-English dyan. Ganun. Pero pag nakapasok ko na pala ron, it's really easy pala. Mga tao ron, mas jologs pa sa'yo. Mga ganun. So, masaya naman. So, yun. And at that time, I was really glad, no? Talagang feeling ko, ang dali nung napasok ko, ang laki ng sweldo. And before that, kasi, as you guys know, I was working like 5 jobs just to make ends meet. And here I am sitting down, talking to a person I'm not even seeing, looking at my monitor. I can Google like NBA games and etc. while I speak. I'm being paid 14, 15, 16K. To me, at that time, this is the life. This is the dream. So, ayun. So, that little glimpses of hope, kahit papano, I say, siguro, I still tried to look for good things naman that was happening. And slowly build up on it.
Okay. Yeah, that is a excellent point. Thank you for sharing that, RP.
You're welcome. Thank you. Now, guys, why did we just spend an hour? 1 hour siguro? No? May 1 hour na ba?
Almost.
Yeah, why did we just spend 1 hour telling you guys what our lowest or some of our lowest moments were? Because ako, no, we believe, hindi lang pala ako, kami dito in Founders, we believe, no, na understanding what your lowest moments were or are actually, because I assume there'd be a lot for a lot of people, for everybody, is extremely important because it allows you, this is history, this is your history. It allows you to learn from them. It allows you to look back and tell yourself how far you have become or you have come. Okay? How different of a person you are now from that person that you are looking back at. And hopefully, the person that you are today is a better version of whoever that person was.
That's true.
So in true Mentorship Mondays fashion, we are going to end this episode by saying a word, one word,
With a bang.
that we believe fully summarizes this episode.
Focus.
Focus. Why focus, Ryan?
Focus on your goals. Kung ano yung mga gusto mo. Hindi yung once na na-experience mo yung low point ng buhay mo, mawawala ka na or magi-give up ka na. Focus kung ano yung purpose na gusto mo or ano yung gusto mong marating. Okay, yung purpose. Okay.
Good. Word ni Chris, purpose. Tamo.
Hindi.
Chris, what's your word?
Mine is change.
Change.
Okay. So basically, the person you are today does not mean that you will be the same person that you will become tomorrow, right? So you have the ability to change. It is basically in your power. You can change.
Ako, my word for today is patience. Okay? Patience, because be patient with yourself. Like what Chris said, be adaptable to change. The person that you are now doesn't necessarily mean that that will be the person that you are tomorrow.
Yeah.
So be patient on yourself. Don't be too hard on yourself. Give yourself the chance to grow. Okay, obviously, that will only happen if you do understand what your problem is in the first place. And that is why, in our opinion, self-awareness, everybody should practice massive amounts of self-awareness. Knowing what your weaknesses are, what your strengths are, who you are before, who you are now, who you want to be in the future, stuff like that, we believe matters.
Yes.
Matter of fact, in the mentorship program that we do here at Founders, that takes like 3 hours.
So there you go. That's another episode of Psychology Monday.
All right. So take care, everyone. We'll see you next Monday. Again, my name is RP.
Chris.
Ryan.
Take care, everyone.
See you next Monday.
Hey, business people. RP here. Thank you for listening to Mentorship Mondays. I hope you enjoyed this episode as much as we enjoyed making it for you. Don't forget to like and follow our channel, Mentorship Mondays, and share this episode to somebody whom you think may learn from it. Thank you guys, and I'll see you next Monday.